Hi guys, my name is Olga Noel and I make ball jointed dolls. Today we'll talk about the unfinished project and if you need to push yourself to finish the artwork or if it's okay to leave it unfinished and drop things midway. Why we're talking about this? A person came to me and asked for my help and said this: I really want to keep making dolls, but I see that everything is wrong with my first project and I know I have to finish it, but I keep pushing it away. Is it wrong to start over? Short answer is no, it's not wrong to start over. You can do whatever you want. Long answer is documentation. If your current project makes you feel bad and starting a new project makes you feel very good and light, don't forget to document everything bad about the current project and all the things that you feel are wrong about it, and start something new, keeping in mind things that you wrote down. Let me show you my unfinished project and tell you how I stopped making things that didn't feel right. This is project number 1. Let's call her Lil Witch. Her face messes up the balance of my camera, so you'll see a lot of jumpy colors, don't mind that. She's a tiny, was supposed to have lots of new companions, but she'll never see the light of day, unfortunately. She looks fine, honestly. She feels nice in my hands. She's also like 85% ready. This is the only doll of mine that has single joints, by the way. I don't use them typically. So the hands and feet were supposed to be magnetic and I sculpted one foot and one tiny hand. Her shoulder joint got broken some time ago, but the functionality is still there, as you see. So why is she unfinished? Because I understood that I cannot sell dolls that look like children, and I'd spent 3 months on this girl, so I was devastated really, but I still felt that I need to drop the project altogether and not be back to it at all. I actually kept my original notes on this doll, and let me tell you what I wrote down. What I felt was uncertainty, doubt, desire to put her away, and as soon as I made up my mind to not finish her, I wrote down immense relief and lightness. And if it's not this sign to drop the project, I don't really know what is. Also, I wrote down the things that were not good for me. It included age of the character, single joint, I still didn't quite like them. General friendliness of the idea was relatively basic, and I underlined the word basic several times. I have nothing to say through children, and this is a very big no. So why create something that gives nothing of you to the world? That's what I thought, and this is why this project never got finished. So the next doll I made was not a minor. She was also female because I had no qualms about it, and she became my first resin doll prototype with this face and this face and this face as well. But she also had a fair share of unfinished things that I made for her. I started off this project as an alternative to my porcelain dolls. I understood that a lot of people wanted to have my dolls, but they wanted them in resin. So I decided to experiment with it a little bit and made 20 dolls. The faces you saw are the ones that me and my dear friend and a patron, Wahi, chose for her. There were 10 of the faces originally, and out of those 10, only 3 saw the light of day, and the rest you can see right here. Some were almost done and ready to become dolls. Others were not really finished. The insides for some faces are not even shaped properly. Some of them do have magnets, some don't, and one of those faces has a huge chip, and this happened basically right after I baked her, and I decided not to finish her because the face was a little off. I also, for the first time, I created a face that was modeled after a real person, a real human being. I took someone else's features and created a face based on this very person. I don't really remember who it was at the moment. It was a new experience for me. I tried searching for the features, the unique features that made this girl look so perfect, and I wanted to translate this perfection into my sculpture, and this was honestly the first time I created somebody that looks like someone else. And this is the crazy doll. This is what I call her. I don't really like the features that she has. I don't like her at all, and this was probably the either the last face that I made or the last but one. And these two are the faces of one of my favorite dolls that I've created, 1H. She also has a real life prototype, but it was an homage rather than like ripping off all the features of a person and putting it and cramming it into a girl doll. This project, making 10 faces and picking 3 out of all 10 of them, was me testing my limits, and honestly I didn't like how it turned out, and I understand now that I needed to have more time to create those 10 faces rather than cramming it into like a 1 or 2 month sprint. Also, I have my original notes and I have this thing written down. I repeat myself a lot. I made a lot of live casts at the time, and I felt the need to push myself forward. And every single live cast, I made a new face, and these live casts were every single day for around 2 or 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, I made only faces, and by the last face, I was really sad and burnt out in the faces department, so to say. And I understand now this was not a good idea. I didn't take time to make something new. I didn't take time to feel something new and to make those dolls represent something new. And the main thing, I didn't take time to reflect, and I didn't take time to write down what I felt after creating every single face. I should have. The main takeaway from there was I was really tired. This was the feeling I wrote down, and it's not a proper feeling, honestly, but I was really tired and I wanted to rest, and I wanted those faces and this project to be finished, so much so that I never finished some of the backs of the head. Will I still be using some of those faces that I created? I really doubt that, but for now these faces are the unfinished project that I'm going to leave probably and never look back, although I will definitely read the documentation before starting my new resin ball jointed dolls endeavor. If you want to choose the faces in the future, join my Patreon account. My patrons are cool. Thank you so much for supporting me. So I hope you see that unfinished things aren't that bad, and you need to have this opportunity to drop the projects that you don't really like. Also, I googled a little bit before making this video, and I found a dozen of articles where people shout at you and say you have to finish the project. You have to finish your artwork. No matter what, you will gain a lot of insights by finishing the artwork. Honestly, I would say that not finishing it might give you better insights and might give you better things to concentrate on. The only thing that you actually really need and that you will benefit from is the experience, and you already gain the experience that you do not like something about your project. If you can fix it, and it will take you less than a week, probably fix it and try to approach it from a new perspective. But if something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to say no to the project. Just the biggest thing is to write things down. Keep a logbook. Don't let other people tell you what to do or not to do. They don't know what you feel, and if you don't know what you feel either, consult the feeling circle. If you want to start a new project, go for it. Just don't forget to reflect on everything that you have from your current project. Extract every single bit of experience, and then if something doesn't feel right, don't force yourself. You are your own support system. Hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. Click all the buttons. You know what to do. Ask me questions and have the best time. Bye.